How's it going, fellow humans? So, most of my life, I've actually been very wrong about credit. I have always avoided credit cards in fear of racking up huge amounts that I wouldn't be able to pay off, as well as paying interest. Having the cash on hand and paying for something outright was something that was always important to me and seemed like the right way to go. However, recently, through my little financial education venture, I've realized that that is wrong. I think credit is actually incredibly advantageous and frankly necessary, and I was in complete denial about that. I am someone who is kind of always questioning why people do the things they do. Everyone gets a credit card, so it seemed as normal and just something you do, and I always kind of looked at it as kind of dumb. Because a lot of people I knew who got a credit card at a young age basically went out and spent money that they don't have and racked up debt, which came to bite them later in life. And to me, it seemed kind of obvious that credit cards and the ability to spend more money than you actually have at any given time is not a good idea. Alright, so reason one, I was wrong about credit cards. First of all, because I didn't realize that interest was only paid if you didn't pay off the full amount in 1 month. Which means if you go out, you spend $150 on the credit card, and you don't pay it, you then start accruing interest on that amount. That is when you start spending more for your regular purchases. So I didn't really understand that. I thought it was all interest. Now that may vary on credit cards, and there are obviously certain deals. For example, 0% APR on purchases and balance transfers until January 2021, which means for the next year I can make purchases on this credit card without having to worry about paying interest. And so that is kind of like a little bonus where, in the case of the laptop, you can finance something and pay no interest. And so in that way, you can really get something sooner than you actually have all the money, which is amazing. Reason number two, and this is the big one, but it has to compound with the first one, is the rewards. So you can rack up cash back, travel rewards, etc. There's other perks. We have unlimited 1% cash back, no annual fee, blah blah blah. If you use that card to buy everything, pay it off within its appropriate time, then you have actually gained money. So you have essentially spent that money at a 1.5 discount. And that is a lower level discount as well. There are better credit cards. And people really reap the benefits of credit cards. There are people who travel around for free by nothing but their rewards points from credit card. So compounded with the first part that you pay it off on time, you can actually save money by using a credit card, which was mind-blowing to me. Alright, the third one is access. The access to money now is actually really important, especially if you do live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not suggesting that you start spending consistently more money than you're earning, but in case of an emergency, or if you really need a purchase now, and in your current pay period there's no way you can afford it, that's your only option. And so having another option to actually be able to purchase things when you need it is very nice. So the fourth reason that I was wrong about credit cards is, frankly, there are certain things you just have to have a credit card for. I believe renting a car, getting a hotel room sometimes, that might not be true anymore, but there are certain things where having a credit card is pretty much necessary. Although I've never been denied for having a debit card. But still, it's something that's almost expected of you. It's a rule of society that you kind of have to play by. And the fifth is to, of course, actually build credit. Now, I wanted to continuously pay for everything in cash, and I really don't like owing money to anybody. And I would really prefer to have the money on hand before I ever spend it. That way no one can come back and say, hey, where's my money? Because that's not a good feeling. No one wants that. However, the fact is, for larger purchases and some things, financing is probably going to be the only option. And in some options, it's actually a better option. There's a guy who owns a Ferrari on YouTube, and he talks about why he finances it rather than buying it flat out, because he did have that option. And the reason he finances that is because then he has more liquid capital that he can use to invest. And so just making those payments rather than that huge $300,000 chunk is really beneficial to him, and it can be the same thing with other things. If you can break something down into a payment, pay a small penalty for that, then it's way more advantageous than missing a huge chunk of your capital. If you are using your money, of course. But building credit is absolutely necessary, especially if you're going to get into buying real estate or even renting real estate. It can help decrease your insurance rates, and there's many other benefits. It can give you a lot of breaks in life if you have good credit. Not to mention if you ever need to take a loan out, just in case you might be thinking of starting a business or any kind of capital adventure. Even though I was in complete denial and wanted to pay for everything in cash, and I was very afraid of the insanely high interest rates, it's completely outweighed by the benefits, in my opinion. As long as you can make the monthly payment and pay it off, then there won't be any problems, and it's actually a really great option. I think the issue is a lot of people start getting credit cards early in life and they just go and spend way more than they have. They rack up all this debt and they're completely blinded. And I think you really need to be very conscious about it. You need to ask yourself, do I need this? And would I be buying this if I didn't have a credit card? So it's not an excuse to go out and spend more, but it's probably better to use than a debit card, because a debit card isn't earning you rewards and that kind of thing, or credit for that matter. Those are 5 ways that I was completely wrong about credit. So if you enjoyed this video or found it in any kind of informative, then that's awesome. Let me know. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you want to see more content like this. But anyway, thank you very much for watching and have a good day. Or don't. I don't know. Do what you want.